Alright, so why are perfumes bad? There are some hidden exposures, things that make us sick. We aren't naturally sick beings. We created ourselves to be sick. We created chemicals. We are surrounded by so many chemicals, and that's just the cause and effect type situation. You put orange juice in a gas tank, in a car to run it, it doesn't function properly. So, I'm reading this from Cleanse to Heal, Medical Medium by Anthony Williams. Millions of people had healed already from this information, so I'm going to take the time to read it to you. Whether we find it true or not, it is good to know. Air fresheners. Well, hopefully you can hear me. Air fresheners, scented candles, conventional laundry detergent. Let's get a good view here. How about that? Air fresheners, scented candles, conventional laundry detergent, fabric softener, perfume, cologne, and aftershave. We all walk around as if it's normal and actually good to be surrounded by synthetic chemical products meant to create pleasing smells. Who are they actually pleasing? If no one really likes the smell of cologne, neither the people who wear it nor those who interact with them, why are so many people using it? All it takes is 5 people wearing cologne in a room of 100 to overpower the air. Don't underestimate the toxic levels of this category. Just because these products have fragrances we've been taught to identify as pleasing, whether inside our home or on our body, it doesn't mean that they're safe. There are some of the most hazardous chemicals to be concerned about, creating a future of health deprivation. We think, for example, that by using an air freshener, we're creating a more pleasing environment. Once we unleash that plug-in air freshener, though, our sense of smell instantly becomes disabled. When you're living in a home or working in an office or other environment with the plug-in air freshener spewing chemical-laden oil into the air, you may not smell it anymore. After plugging them into the wall, many people forget air fresheners are there and don't notice when they've run out because the walls, beddings, pillows, furnitures, air vents, and window shades have become so saturated. And while we become desensitized to that scent, it's nearly impossible to smell anything else. Those chemically scented, vaporized poisons hurt the lungs. Their waxy oil residue builds up in the lung sacs. If you're someone who doesn't smoke and yet you love plug-in air fresheners, you're better off removing your plug-in air freshener and starting to smoke. That's right. You actually have a better chance of longer lasting health and vitality without complicated disease if you smoke cigarettes than if you breathe plug-in air fresheners day in and day out. Does that put it in perspective? From the oily film from air freshener doesn't only affect the lungs. It also ends up in the liver, where it enters the bloodstream from the lungs. Plus, we swallow air freshener when we breathe it in through our mouth, and that brings it into the intestinal tract, from which it enters the bloodstream and heads to the liver as well. Air freshener residue in that organ can reduce liver function. If a really inquisitive surgeon opened up the body of a patient who had lived for years in a space highly saturated with air freshener, that surgeon would smell the air freshener scent seeping out of the patient's bloods and cells. The chemicals in synthetic scents can lower the immune system rapidly, but wear your mask. What does that mean? Actually, that's really where the mask comes in handy. It means that when the chemicals enter our bloodstream, our natural killer cells, lymphocytes, and other white blood cells absorb them, and that instantly weakens our immune cells and even kills some off. Our white blood cells need clean, fresh, oxygenated blood. With chemical scents, our white count becomes hindered. Exposure to heavy doses of air freshener, scented candle, cologne, perfume, or similar scent could mean 3 to 4 days of a weakened and lower immune system. Pathogens can take advantage with an uprising, especially because the synthetic scent chemicals can, at the same time, feed virus and bacteria, allowing them to prosper and reproduce, leading to further illness. Someone who's prone to urinary tract infections, sinus infections, or flare-ups of fibromyalgia, ME, CFS, lupus, MS, eczema, psoriasis, or Hashimoto's may experience a new flare-up following exposure. It seems like a really neat idea to plug in a device that releases a scent that makes you think of wildflowers. In the end, they're not real fragrances. They're synthetic and man-made in a factory, formulated by a group of people testing scents around a laboratory table and picking the one they like best. Air fresheners sprayed from a bottle or a can and scented candles are just as bad. Even if they're called natural fragrances, don't be fooled. This is the same tactic as listing natural flavors in food ingredients list as a secret label for MSG. It's difficult to find an enclosed space these days that's free of chemical scent. When we move to a different home, it's tough to find an apartment or a house that doesn't have a lingering scent in the walls. Out in the world, we're exposed in stores, malls, hotels, restaurants, offices, friends and families' homes, and public restrooms, and even more before ever than in history. Welcome, coronavirus. Hop in a taxi or ride service car, and you're likely to find air freshener coming through the vents. I remember those days, those sick days where I was... All right, hold on, I'm sorry. We inhale it. I had them in my cars, but I just didn't know why I was sick. I was eating right and doing everything, but I had the air fresheners in my car vents. Okay. We inhale it just from being near people who have the scent on their clothes from air fresheners at home. On top of whatever scented laundry detergent, dryer sheets, deodorant, shampoo, hair product, lotion, aftershave, cologne, or perfume they use. We live in a world where chemical sensitivities are becoming much more prevalent. That means that these chemical exposures are not only a nightmare for the individuals already suffering with sensitivities, they're creating new cases of chemical sensitivities for people who didn't previously have them. Years ago, it was older people who would complain about smell, saying, "I need fresh air. Can you put out that fire? Please shut the window. Close the front door. You're letting dust in." Or, "I don't like the smell of that cologne." They were the ones who had lived long enough to become sensitive. Now it's not like that anymore. Young people are developing actual chemical sensitivities at rapid rates due to all they're exposed to. And the complaints of older generations are nothing in comparison to what the younger generations are up against. Now, don't let this all put you into fear and chaos. While out and about, we can do our best to make measures to avoid these scents. For example, we can choose not to walk by the perfume counter at the department store, to purchase bath, body, and laundry products that are unscented or only scented with pure essential oils, and to find an alternative to the cafe around the corner that burns scented candles. Because we can't always avoid them, though we can't ask the person standing next to us on the train to go home, shower, wash their clothes in unscented detergent. We at least need to make our own homes, cars, and wherever else we spend extended periods of times into oases from these scents. If we have any say at our workplace, it's ideal to establish scent-free policies. And of course, because we can't dodge every exposure, cleansing is critical so that we can continually release and rebuild. So I hope you enjoyed. Let me show you the earth again, because that's where the magic's at. I hope you enjoyed Wellness Wednesday, whatever may be coming next. Breathing, but you are healed. You are nature's greatest miracle. You deserve everything the earth has to offer, which is peace, love, and kindness. Okay? Abundance, wealth. The earth plants trees and bears fruit, and so can you. Okay? Happy Wednesday.